Hey everybody, this is Free Shooter giving you a deck profile for Light Gemini Beat. As you guys probably already know, this deck has topped at YCS Anaheim for 2011 back in February, and I decided to make a deck profile on it because, you know, it inspired me to make my own build. And too many times have I seen people run this deck, and personally I don't think they were running it the right way. They made it too meta-like they were trying to speed it up too much, so it really messed with the consistency of the build. And in the end, all they did was blame their bad draws or something. So I took the time and made my own deck, and so far it's been doing pretty well. It's topped at my locals once or twice, and it's definitely been giving a lot of trouble for 6-SAM players and sabers, plants, psychics, and a whole lot more. So let's jump right into the deck. First off, start with the monster count. Start off with an honest at 1, sadly, but you know, it's a really good card in this deck. A lot of my monsters are light, so I have no fear with summoning a monster, knowing that, you know, they could easily overpower it with like a Stardust or a Sheehan or something. So Honest takes care of those situations where you don't have a deep prison set or a warning or anything. Really good card, sadly at 1, but it is kind of broken. Next, 1 Stratos. Pretty self-explanatory. Searches out these 3 guys. Alias. Need to run 3, not 2. Definitely not 1. These guys definitely are they're the main guy of the deck. You could search them. You can G-Spark with them. You can Future Fusion with them. You can Miracle Fusion with them, and you can dump Honest on these guys. So they're all over the place. These guys are really the boss characters of the deck, and they're just really good. I mean, they're 19 beaters, and they're all Geminis, so I could G-Spark them. And then next up, 2 Cyber Dragons. I know a lot of the builds are running 3. I tested that out. You know, they've been sitting in my hand for too many at the time. And 1, I'm not drawing into it at all. 2 seems just about right. This card is really good against Machinas and Karkaris. Probably you guys already know, with the Chimera tech. And it's just a good beater. It's at 21. It climbs over a pumped. It can ram into a pumped Laquari, and gets out of a lot of situations. Sometimes I special summon this guy, normal summon a Gale, and then shrink their monster, attack with him, attack with Gale, and then sync for Stardust. So it gives me a lot of options. Best anti-meta card ever, Triple Thunder King. This guy is absolute boss of the just too good. Can't search, opponent can't special summon. I don't know how much better of a card this could be. It's at 19 and it's a light. Definitely fits the bill really well, and it's just really irritating. It stops 6-SAMs with their gateways and their smoke signals, stops sabers with their Dark Soul, it stops searching with Rhoda and tuning for Chaos Plants. It stops, it just gets over it just stops a lot of things. And if your opponent ever tries to get over it with a monster, it's almost always a special summon. Just negate it. Just get rid of that guy before it even comes out like a Sheehan. These guys, also boss card. This guy saved me twice when I went to locals. I was doing a 6-SAM guy, and he already set up, and it looked like he was gonna win. And then I top deck a Dyna, and I just set it. And I just bounced right back once they blow up his field, because he had a Barkion and a Sheehan, so he thought he had a game. Guess not. This guy is really beast. Just destroys all special summon monsters on the flip, and then once he's on the field face up, you can't nobody can special summon. Really good card if you want to prevent your opponent from special summoning cards. So like you can normal summon this, and then no Treeborn for them against a Frognarch or a Formula Monarch, stuff like that. And then you just set like a deep prison to make sure they don't bounce back or anything. So it's a really good card. Sadly, it went up way up in price, from like 40 to 55 or something. Alright, 2 Penguin Soldiers. Pretty self-explanatory. This deck is trying to prevent my opponent from getting a huge advantage on me. So 2 Penguin Soldiers, just really good card. I could Future Fusion with it, Miracle Fusion with it, and get into an Ab Zero, or with this guy, I can go into Gaia, Elemental Hero Gaia. Alright, now I have 3 tech cards. I know that I could put in dualities and the deck would be a lot more consistent, and that's what I've been thinking about. But I honestly think that dualities shouldn't be valued at $115. Rather, I think it should be valued at something around $60, $65. It's a phenomenal card, but I seriously doubt it is totally hyped up. People don't realize this, they buy into it, and then, you know, once that reprint comes out, they're gonna bite themselves in the ass. But, you know, that's what happens with Yu-Gi-Oh! You only buy the most expensive card, and then next time it's reprint in the next pack. So, here my tech cards are Veiler. Want to run one more, but I can't find room. A lot of answers to Scrapdragon, Kageki, stuff like that. Really irritating cards. Fall Trolls, Hand of the Sixth Samurai. Just a lot of cards that require so much effect. So it deals a good deal, and it's a tuner, so it's good. One of these guys, one Neospatian Grand Mole. Just get rid of those synchros, pop them back. Great loop with Cyber Dragon. You know, keep sending back, keep pushing 21, and then before you know it's your duel. And then last monster, Gale. Thinking about taking him out for Spirit Reaper, but it's good because he's a tuner and get a little bit more options in there. Alright, on spells, obviously since this is the E-Hero build, you gotta be running 3 Miracle Fusions. 3 Miracle Fusions, set up for the big boys to come in, like Shining and stuff. You Miracle Fuse for 2 E-Hero monsters. They both get removed from play. Bring out Shining, gains 300 for every removed from play E-Hero, jumps to 32, and then once he's sent from field to graveyard, he can revive. He can bring back 2 E-Hero monsters and bring them into your hand from that were removed from play. So pretty much it recycles what this card did. So it's just one big loop, and it's just amazing because this card is like a walking Gravekeeper Stele. Alright, next up, 1 Future Fusion. Sadly it is at 1, but it would be too good if it was at 2. Beautiful opening hand, 1 Future Fusion, Miracle Fusion. You just dump 2 cards. You dump Alias and Penguin Soldier for a Ab-Zero, and then you Miracle Fuse for an Ab-Zero. So you have an Ab-Zero on the first turn, and then you have 1 coming up in 2 turns. I'm not going to say that's an instant win, but it definitely gives you a huge edge over your opponent. 2 G-Sparks. I know a lot of people complain about me not running 3. I mean, it's a good card, but it's not phenomenal that I would run at 3. And it is definitely situational. You need a Alias on the field. And I mean, with Warning running around like crazy, you know, you can't just, you know, Warning, you can't G-Spark a Warning, so it doesn't work that way. I mean, once a priority rule comes back, or they kick out the priority rule, I might bring these, I might bump it up to 3, but I don't think so. Probably gonna take these 2 out for Super Polys once they release the next set of E-Heroes. Search Power, 2 cards, Rhoda, E-Call. It seems to be working just fine. Not too much, not too little. I'm running enough monsters to not worry about not having a card in my hand, a monster in my hand. And don't want to run 2 of these in my build, because too many times have I had this card in my hand, and I had to face up Thunder King, so I just lock myself. Doesn't really help that way. And then lastly, just staples: Monster Reborn, Dark Hole, True Nade, double MST, and then Book. All self-explanatory. And then trap lineup. It's pretty basic trap lineup. Nothing too fancy, except I'm gonna be switching the bottom lists for warnings once they come in the mail. I know a lot of people are saying warnings overpriced, but too many times have I played this deck and they Sheehan me and I don't have a response. I can't bottomless that, or they Stardust me or anything. So I honestly think that even though it is very overpriced, I'm willing to pay that much money to get 2 warnings just to make sure they can't come back or anything like that. So Judgment, going to be 2 warnings. Tori, Mirror Force, Oppression, need to run Oppression. I've seen a deck that didn't run Oppression and it was also an anti-meta build and I didn't understand it at all. I don't know how you can run this deck and not run a card that stops special summoning. I mean, it's like the most basic trap card for anti-meta builds, but whatever. And then triple Deep Fissure, Deep Prisons. Love Deep Prison. Gets me out of so much trouble sometimes. Like I just said, I know I normal summon a Grand Mole, and then I set a Deep Prison, and then if they even try to get over Grand Mole, I just Deep Prison, and then I keep poking with Grand Mole, and I bounce back and forth, and it's great. Alright, on to the extra deck. Nothing too fancy. It's just pretty basic. It all makes sense. Just 3 Shinings. This guy is the big man of the deck. It's kind of, I mean, it's not like you can mass summon this guy like Master Hyperion or anything, but he's pretty good. It's a lot of recycle power. He's pretty hefty at 32 when you get 2 E-Heroes removed from play. So it's a good card, and it's a light, so you can honest him in case your opponent tries to come over it. 2 Ab-Zeros for my Penguin Soldiers. Beautiful Rigiaki card. And 1 Gaia. Gaia is going to be, so far I think Gaia is the least used of the E-Heroes, although he still seems to be the most expensive. I don't know how that's possible. But I want to use Gaia more often. It's just too difficult to use him. I mean, I know I have Dynas and I have a Grand Mole, but no, the other fusions they're just so much better. And yeah, but once I get super poly, I can start stealing Barkions and stuff. So that's cool. Alright, I do have Synchro lineup. I know this isn't much of a Synchro build, but I do have 2 tuners, and my opponent, I could reborn one of my opponent's tuners. So I have the basics pretty much. So pretty much I have a Stardust, Scrap, Thought Ruler, RDA, Black Rose, Bryo, Catastor, Android, and Chimera Tech for my great Cyber Dragons. I'm maining it too. So yeah, this is pretty much my build. This deck is great. It's gonna become even better once the new fusions come out, and then I'll have a video on that too once they start releasing more info on it. So far we only have 3 of the elements: Earth, Water, and Light. Even though Light's not really an element. Attributes, there we go. So once they release the other 3, Dark, Fire, and Wind, we can pretty much super poly into anything. So this deck is going to be so good, and it's already amazing right now. So if you got any questions, comments, just let me know. Please rate and subscribe, and check out the links below for the discussion on the future fusion monsters that are coming out. And thanks. See ya.